and other things. um, as many of you know, I've been walking down the paths of Buddhism, and tonight I wanted to focus on the path called right concentration. Right concentration. Now, again, there are eight paths in Buddhism. Right concentration is the seventh of the eighth, and right concentration has a lot to do with three things: the ethics that we live by, how we meditate, and the livelihood that we have. Now, I want to share with you a story. A year or so ago, I traveled through India and I experienced much of the Buddhist traditions and the Hindu traditions, of course. And I was quite frankly amazed at the devotion of the people in India to their particular religions. Um, can't help but walk around and see that people wear their faith front and center just about all over the place. There are shrines and temples everywhere in India. And people, for the most part, seem to be incredibly connected to their sense of God and their sense of spirit. I particularly was interested in a trip that I took to Dharamsala, where I actually went to the Dalai Lama's residence and a number of other monasteries that serve the Dalai Lama residually in Dharamsala, because there's more than just one monastery. There are a few orders that support the monastery, the main one. And I was invited into a um, a priest's study, um, and we had a conversation about Buddhism and what his views were about the power of what they do and their many paths and what they all mean. And in my time with him, um, and in my time watching the monks meditate and pray to Buddha, I was just struck by the concentration, the focus, the attention to their detail and their craft was quite stunning. And you know, I'm a pastor. I like to think I was pretty devoted to my craft, but in many ways, these gentlemen, um, in this case, yes, men, blew me away in terms of their ability to focus and sing mantra and stay connected and focused in that mantra and not be distracted. So, the concept of right concentration has a lot to do with the ethic of being a committed person to their faith. And of course, the meditation that goes with that, right? The meditation that they have, and the Sanskrit, of course, is a sacred language that allows them to feel the vibration of the chakras throughout their whole body as they're meditated, and that the vibration of even saying the word Om does something to our physical body and connects us to something deeper than just our own physical state. So right concentration, um, having to do with the ethics of being present, being focused, and being aware that the world is way bigger than just us. And if we could just put ourselves on the shelf for a little while and meditate on what it means to be present and clear and dedicated to connecting to God and to spirit and to right ways of living and livelihood, which is the third thing that they talk about, the livelihood of being a faithful servant, the livelihood of being sacred in one's past, the livelihood of being prayerful and thoughtful and kind, and giving up our own selfishness, our own self-centered ways, even for a few moments during our day, and think about the needs and pray for the needs of others, way beyond ourselves. And and the reason the Buddhists really believe in that is because they believe in a collective consciousness, or what I've called a collective awareness, a collective soulfulness that can change minds and change the energy of the world. And uh, it's really a phenomenal experience to be in a Buddhist monastery and to watch the monks do their thing. And I've always been impressed with other traditions and how they find a way. They find a way to be so devout and creative in that devotion, so that they can connect in a way that goes beyond the surface, just beyond the surface. I mean, for example, I'll say the Lord's Prayer, but will I really say it? Will I really feel it? Will I really internalize it? Will I really just kind of take it in its parts and pick it apart and then think about it? Lots of times when we go to a religious setting, if we're Protestant or Catholic, it doesn't really matter. We say the Lord's Prayer. We just say it. Do we really mean it? Do we really focus on it? Do we really devour each word and then think of how we're living it out in our daily lives? Good question. Are we experiencing right concentration? I would invite you to consider that and to consider that throughout your day, you have plenty of opportunities to have right concentration. It could be just looking at a bee fluttering around a flower that's bringing forth during the springtime. Anyway, give it some thought. Thanks for paying attention. Let's have some good concentration and think about these thoughts moving forward throughout your day. Thanks very much. Have a great one.